All right, in this lesson we are going to solve word problems once again involving perimeter, but this time we are going to be given relational quantities. So it's easier just to show you what relational quantities are, give you an example. Example 1 reads, the perimeter of a rectangle is 44 centimeters. So perimeter, 44 centimeters. The length is 5 less than the width. Find the dimensions. So the perimeter of a rectangle. So let's draw a rectangle, just so we have some sort of idea what's going on. Okay, we have a rectangle. The perimeter is 44 centimeters. Remember that the perimeter is the distance around. The perimeter is the distance around a polygon, a shape. And it says the length is 5 less than the width. The length is 5 less than the width. So let's represent that. That is our relational quantity. How one quantity, the length, relates to another quantity, the width. So it says the length is 5 less than the width. So 5, well, let's do it like this. 5 less, so minus 5 from the width. So the length is 5 less than the width. Cool. So let's write a generic sort of formula right now. You can write it a couple ways. I'm going to write it a way that most of you will understand, or I hope that more of you will understand. So if we take, in order to get the perimeter, if you have like the length and you have the width and you have another length and another width, you would just go length plus width should give me the perimeter. So the length is w minus 5. This length can be represented also using w minus 5, the width minus 5. And we can just leave in the plus w's. And we should get the perimeter, which is 44 centimeters. Now let's stop right here for a second. The lengths changed to w minus 5. W minus 5, W minus 5. The reason why we didn't change the w's was because we want all w's. So let's back up even further. We had L plus W plus W. Now the problem is that we have L's and W's. I either want all L's or all W's. And in this case, we turned the L's to W's, so we kept the W's the same. Now let's write this a little bit differently. So W plus W plus W plus W is 4W. And then minus 5, I'll do it like that. Minus 5 is minus 10 equals 44. Now from here, let's find out what W is. So 4W equals 54. And then we divide by 4. Looks like this one's going to be a decimal. So 4 goes into 40 10 times, and then it goes into 14 3 times. So that's 13. I'll write this a little closer. There's 2 left over, so point out of 4, which is 0.5. So the width in this case is 13.5 centimeters. Don't forget your units, don't forget your units, don't forget your units. Now, if we wanted the length, because we want to know both dimensions, we just substitute in 13.5 for W. So length equal, let's just put it right here, 13 and a half minus 5. You could rewrite this without the parentheses since they don't matter, but I'd know that they don't matter. So that will be 8.5 centimeters. Don't forget your units. Now let's make sure we didn't do anything too off. Okay, so we know that length plus width should give me the perimeter. So I know that 8.5, you could either say times 2, but I'm just going to write them each out. And 8 and 5/10 centimeters plus 13.5 centimeters plus 13.5 centimeters. So these give me 2 holes. Oh, let me put my decimal here. And 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And 2, 3, 4. So 44 centimeters when I combine those lengths and widths. Let's go ahead and let's provide some evidence. Not foolproof once again, but it's all right. So let's write a statement. If the it tells us the length. If the length is, let me see what I meant to put here. The length is blank and the blank. Okay, I got it. This is supposed to say if the perimeter is 44 centimeters and the length is 5 less than the width, then the length has to be 8.5 centimeters and the width has to be 13.5 centimeters. So actually I'm trying to make that. I want to write the whole thing over again. Okay. So if the perimeter is 44 centimeters and the length is 5 less than the width, then the length has to be 8.5 centimeters and the width has to be 13.5. We can change like these two numbers. Like I can make this 9.5 and this is going to be 12.5, but then the length isn't going to be 5 less than the width. So basically it has to be these two numbers for the length to be 5 less than the width and the perimeter to be 44 centimeters.